I didn't watch the game, but I did see the clip of him collapsing on the ground, and it just was really eerie. And I just felt so bad for him and his family. There's a lot of talk about whether or not the game should continue, and when do you put humanity first, which I think you should always put your morals and your ethics first when it comes to everything. It is kind of out the ordinary that this will happen to someone that's young and healthy, but also he's in the NFL. He's in a very dangerous sport where things like this happen all the time. Athletes literally go through so much health wise, and them constantly being in the sport and conditioning and working out and all that, it can take a toll on your heart, and it can take a toll on all that stuff. And so I don't know if I want to just put the sole blame on the booster shot. Hey everyone, it's Bree. Welcome back to my channel. I'm back on the video, and Happy New Year. I am officially back. If you guys didn't see my most recent video, I did start the new year off in the ER. That wasn't very fun. So yeah, I just was dealing with a lot of like sickness and things like that, so I did have to take some time off to kind of just rest and get myself back to full health. And so now I am ready to start being active again on this channel and be more consistent. I definitely was not expecting to start the year off that way, but it's okay because we're back now. And yeah, we got a lot of things to react to and discuss. And in this video, we're going to be discussing Damar Hamlin, the NFL player who collapsed during the game. And there was a lot of conversation surrounding this whole situation. First of all, it just was really, really sad. Luckily, he is okay. I think this video is a little bit old, so I think this video is in regards to when it first happened, but I believe as of today, he is actually doing well. I believe he also returned to social media to let everybody know that he's doing well. It's actually a miracle that he's still alive, and so I'm thankful for that, because yeah, that was just really scary to see, because I didn't watch the game, but I did see the clip of him collapsing on the ground, and it just was really eerie. And I just felt so bad for him and his family, and maybe, and even even the person that tackled him or hit him, that may have led to him falling on the ground, like, and just the players in general, like just everyone that was there that had to see this man collapse and literally almost lose his life on the field. Like, that was crazy. And there's a lot of talk about whether or not the game should continue, and when do you put humanity first, which I think you should always put your morals and your ethics first when it comes to everything. Even though that doesn't always happen, especially when you have like the NFL and these big businesses and stuff like that. But all in all, I'm glad that they stopped the game, for one, but I'm also glad that he seems to be doing well now. But yeah, we're going to hop right into this video and see exactly what happened.
So let's get right into it. Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin is in critical condition after collapsing on the field during the first quarter of Monday night's game between the Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals. During the game, as he was running across the field and appeared to have successfully tackled someone on the other team.
Oh, so he tackled someone.
He then stood up as normal, and about 2 seconds later, fell to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this, and he just collapsed.
The game was eventually canceled, as it should be, because like, why continue a game if one of your players are down? Safety and health should come first, period. The game was initially temporarily suspended, but the league later announced that it was officially called off for the night.
Good.
But right before that, in a chilling scene, Hamlin was administered CPR on the field while surrounded by teammates, some of them in tears as they shielded him from public view.
Yeah.
He was hurt while tackling Bengals receiver T. Higgins on a seemingly routine play that did not appear unusually violent. The Buffalo Bills tweeted, Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in our game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment. He is currently sedated and listed in critical condition.
Yeah, shout out to the person that was giving him CPR and keeping him alive, because yeah, I did hear that at some point his heart did stop and they were able to revive him on the field. It's just so crazy to think about. And also something that I didn't know, call me ignorant, but I didn't know that when it came down to administering CPR on someone, that you can actually break their ribs. I did not know that. I saw a lot of medical professionals say that, yeah, like if you aren't breaking their ribs, then you're doing it wrong. And so just to even think about that, like, because I've always said, like, in the past, like, it would be cool to be CPR certified, but which I think everyone should be CPR certified. I think that's always a good skill to have, rather than not. But it's just scary to think that, if you're put in a situation where you do have to administer CPR on somebody and you're literally sitting there breaking their ribs trying to save their life. It's just, that whole situation was just, I can imagine how intense it was for everybody involved.
Wow, big prayers to him. Let's please pray for him that he gets through this, because this is crazy.
He did.
And it's very concerning because not only is he clearly athletic and healthy, but he is only 24 years young. So for this to happen is so bizarre. But what we found out is allegedly not uncommon to happen to athletes across the world ever since the COVID vaccine. Allegedly, dozens and dozens of vaccinated athletes who play different sports have collapsed in the same manner. And y'all know the routine. We cannot make these things up. Take a look.
It's brought to you by Pfizer. Pfizer. Anderson Cooper brought to you by Pfizer. ABC News Headline. Brought to you by Pfizer. By Pfizer. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Man, that's very concerning.
See, because I did see that in the title of this video, that, after he got his booster shot, this happened. Look, when it comes to this whole vaccine thing, people, not everyone's going to be on the same page with it. I mean, I've had my own reservations about the vaccine. I'm not anti-vax. I want to make that very clear, that I am not anti-vax, even though people love to throw that term around and they love to, pit people on one extreme or the other, and I just don't believe in that. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I'm not anti-vax. I have literally every other vaccine that I need, but I also have the COVID vaccine. I think for me, my apprehensions about it was just, how quickly it came out. Yes, we have advanced medicine and advanced technology, but I just would have preferred to have, waited a little bit longer, have some more testing before they forced it into the public. And, me getting the vaccine wasn't by choice. As much as people like to say, like, oh, like, well, I mean, technically you always have a choice. No one's going to lose. Most people aren't going to lose their jobs and lose their college career over a vaccine. And so, as much as you want to say that people really have a choice, not really, especially when it gets to the point where all businesses and all colleges were forcing the vaccine, on people. And so, long story short, I was kind of forced into getting the vaccine because George Mason required it in order for you to come back to campus. And so that didn't sit right with me, because I wanted to do it when I was ready and when I felt comfortable. And so, yeah, but I do have the vaccine, and, I haven't really had any major issues. I know I'm saying that just coming out of the ER, but I haven't really had any major issues since then. But I do have my apprehensions about it. I never got the booster shot because there was just like a bunch of stuff that happened around the time that I was supposed to get it, and then I just never went back to get it, because I had caught COVID around the time that I was supposed to get it. And so they were like, oh, like, you can't get it until it's out of your system. Then apparently it takes like 3 months to leave your system. And so, long story short, I never got my booster shot, so I can't even share how things went for me, because I never got a third shot. I just got my first 2 initial COVID vaccines. And so, but I do know other people that have gotten their booster shots, and so far their health has been in tip top shape. They haven't had any issues as far as I'm aware. And so I don't know if I want to completely blame it on this, even though it is kind of out the ordinary that this will happen to someone that's young and healthy, but also he's in the NFL. He's in a very dangerous sport where things like this happen all the time. Athletes literally go through so much health wise, and them constantly being in the sport and conditioning and working out and all that, it can take a toll on your heart, and it can take a toll on all that stuff. And so I don't know if I want to just put the sole blame on the booster shot, because that can be a little bit dangerous, and it can deter people away from science even more than they already are. But I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging the fact that there could be some link to it, especially if he's not the only athlete that has gone through something like this. But also, again, keep in mind that all these people are athletes. These aren't just regular people falling out. But also, I don't know that either. But if we're looking at it as like, oh, like all these athletes are falling out, again, like, sports are very rigorous on you and your heart and your health. And so who's to say really what the link is?
Because the jab is supposed to protect you, not further damage your health. So what's really going on? Damar reportedly just had his required third booster about a week ago, so for this to then happen,
okay, so it was recent.
Thousands of anti-vaxxers have been venting and arguing with pro-vaxxers since, saying that it was the vax, saying things like Damar Hamlin on live TV last night, another Pfizer COVID vaccine, clot shot, death shot, lethal injection victim. Media is already in gaslight mode. This person wrote, I think the argument for Damar Hamlin being injured by the vaccine is one we need to investigate.
Sure.
This person wrote, the narrative this morning is that he was hit so hard that Damar's heart just stopped. I want you to really think about what they are saying here. How many times has this happened? Conversely, we have people dying suddenly of cardiac arrest from these vaccines.
Again, listen, I will say that it does sound odd. That someone would just immediately go into cardiac arrest after a tackle like that, when we've been seeing this for a while and no one has had this issue before. I'm not saying like don't look into it and like don't investigate and see if the vaccine has something to do with it, because I would love to know that myself. But again, I don't like the idea that people that aren't medical professionals are the ones that are, trying to say for sure that it's the vaccine, because we really don't know. Like,
and then he continued, I have 3 family members that have passed away from the vaccines who had cardiac events like this from the vaccines. Oh wow, I was not expecting that. But yeah, so this person wrote, the claim is Damar Hamlin's cardiac arrest was caused by a hit that was mild in comparison to most NFL plays. If he received the booster within the last 2 weeks, it is possible that the mRNA vax is the root cause. Hamlin remains in critical condition and still needs our prayers. This person wrote, Damar received the COVID-19 booster a week before this happened. It's well known to the conspiracy theorists that the third shot is the kill shot. Wake up. I mean, they were going and going and going, as y'all can imagine.
Damar Hamlin was indeed boosted. The doctor posted that he boosted him, so we know he took at least 3 of these shots. The most recent, December 26, 2022. So 1 week after being boosted, he collapsed suddenly from a heart event, which is the #1 adverse reaction which we had seen in hundreds of athletes around the world.
But see, he even said it's like it's athletes, so it's just like, again, I'm not dismissing this. Like it could be, there could be a link here, but it's just, I don't know. It's complicated. I'm not sure.
But honestly, this topic is serious because...
And again, this is coming from somebody that did not want to get the vaccine. Like, not saying I wasn't going to get it at all, but I didn't want to get it when it first came out. I really wanted to wait, and at least a year. Like, I wanted to wait at least a year before I started getting the vaccine for myself. Because again, I get other vaccines. I get the flu shot every year. I got the flu shot couple months ago. So it's not an anti-vax situation. But yeah, but this is also partly why I think there probably should have been more testing for this, because we have no way of knowing what the true effects are until people that are now getting it, seeing what's going on. And I feel like these are things that should have been looked at by testers, by people who, volunteer themselves to, see this kind of thing happen before you force people to get it.
People have gotten these booster shots. And personally, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't take it, but I have a lot of family members who have, whether it be the Pfizer, Novavax, Johnson & Johnson, etc. So now I'm curious to know, have any of you who took the jab and boosters had any heart issues following it or any serious adverse reactions? We want to know your thoughts overall, so leave them below, and don't forget to like this video.
Yeah, it's just crazy too, because and again, I spoke about this in my ER video, that I'm also currently dealing with heart issues, but I never got the booster. I did get the COVID vaccine, but that was like a long time ago when it first came out. The only vaccine I've had recently, like super recently, is the flu shot. And so it's like, but I wouldn't think that the flu shot would be linked to, heart issues. But, all in all, just overall, I, wish him the best. I did not know who this was until the situation happened. And so I'm assuming that now he's definitely going to have more eyes on him. That could be a good or a bad thing. I'm sure he wouldn't have wanted to sacrifice his health for, having more eyes on him. But, you never know. And we'll see if he even returns to the NFL. If I were him, I don't know if I would return. Just out of wanting to protect myself and just not wanting this to happen again. Like, I just would be so nervous about returning to the NFL and possibly experiencing more, like hard impact on the field like that, and always being worried if I'm gonna collapse again. Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see what's gonna happen with him, if he's gonna continue, if he's not gonna continue, and maybe how things will be handled moving forward with this sort of thing. But yeah, let me know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you guys know when I drop new videos. And I will see you guys in the next video.